Yeah, yeah, that's good work.
Ja, Marvin, du musst uns das dann entsprechend zuwerfen, Jan und mir, ne?
Yes,
Ob sie dazwischen kommt oder nicht dann.
that's a good question. Whether you see her now here in the stream. Did we get her back? Hello, hello.
Okay, let's try this. Does this work?
Yes.
This is working. This
Okay.
is great.
Yeah.
It's like 10
Not
seconds.
sure what happened here. So I just came out of another Zoom meeting where everything worked perfectly. So it's bizarre, but
Great. So then let's start kicking this off. Welcome, everybody. My name is Marvin Gold. I'm the head or the co-head of the Startup Incubator Berlin. And we will have today a great opportunity to send one of our startups to the STEP USA program. And in order to do so, we are doing a selection pitch, and we have like great support and great help. But first of all, I would hand over to our just elected and promoted Vice President of HWO Berlin, Frau Dr. Sabine or Ms. Dr. Sabine Baumann, for some welcome notes.
hey, good afternoon or good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It's my proud honor to welcome you to this wonderful event. I'm the newly elected Vice President for International Research and Transfer at Berlin School of Economics and Law. And we have great plans, especially in the international area, connecting it more to our international, more to our research and transfer activities. So in particular, we want to make our research more visible in an international space. We want to connect more with, our partners in other countries. And we would also like to give our PhD students much broader opportunities for being in an international space and sort of showcasing their research, building their networks and so on. So this is a particularly fantastic event. I'm very proud of the Startup Incubator Berlin and that we are hosting today's event. It's such an amazing thing to see the breadth and variety of ideas that founders came up with. And I'm sure, today we'll be having sort of fantastic and insightful and inspiring pitches for this. It's also great that we can do this sort of in collaboration with, partners in the United States. And we at Berlin School of Economics and Law, we are sort of a member of what is called UAS 7. And Patricia Nobbe is sort of, our representative in New York. And so, of course, we're hoping to extend this event in the future to, to also include our other partners in the UAS 7 network. The network is actually, 7 German universities that are very, very strong in the research and transfer space. And so this is a fantastic opportunity that we are seeing here today. And with that, I officially open sort of this event and hand over to Patricia over in New York City. Thank you, and have a great event, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frau Baumann. I wanted to give it to Jan Lüdert first for a sentence or two, if he's available.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Dr. Baumann. Thank you, Marvin and the Harvard Berlin team for putting on another pitch event this year. together in collaboration with the German Center for Research Innovation here in New York. But I also want to extend a special thank you to our judges today from the US institutions, because this is precisely the type of exchange and transfer we're seeking to foster through this type of engagement. We here at the German Center for Research Innovation live at the intersection of science and innovation, and being able to support the winning team today to come to the United States to participate in our STEP University program, which we have been conducting for now in the 4th year in collaboration with the German American Chamber of Commerce. It's a great success because it does highlight the importance of research-based startups that are coming out of university settings. And I really look forward to the pitches and even more so to the feedback and responses from the judges. And then welcome the winning team here in New York later in the year. With that, break a leg, and we look forward to your pitches, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Sabine Baumann and Jan Lüdert. Welcome from my side as well. I'm all excited too. Can't wait to hear the pitches. I'm Patricia Nobbe, and I'm based in New York, where I represent a network of 7 universities of applied sciences, like Dr. Baumann already said. We are called UAS7. And all of these universities I represent factor high in their commitment and support of entrepreneurship, education, and startup activities, as evidenced here through our member university, the Berlin School of Economics and Law, and the Startup Incubator Berlin associated with them. At UAS7 New York, I do connect North American partners with our German ones through formats like this one, and I'm particularly proud to support connections for a group of outstanding startup teams here and see where this will bring them in the future. At UAS7, we are also proud members of the German Center for Research and Innovation, which is spearheaded by Jan Lüdert in New York. As you heard already, they also deal in transatlantic connections and do a fabulous job at supporting a even broader array of activities that further these transatlantic nodes. Let me now say a few words about a new project that we are launching at UAS7, which is particularly directed at the UAS7 alumni, US and Canadian UAS7 alumni that are in the audience today, and announce for the very first time the launch of our new UAS7 alumni mentorship project. For those of you who have ever been as an exchange student or as an intern at one of the UAS7 universities through our study and internship program, and you want to keep in touch or give back, this is your chance to virtually mentor startup teams for the UAS7 universe, startup universe. If we find a great match that fits on both sides, basically. So if you progressed into a career by now, this will give you a chance to reconnect with Germany, with some of the universities of applied sciences that you were spending time with in the past, to learn more about German startups and culture, and to virtually really meet people and help you got and learned in your career up to this point. New mentors would also receive mentorship support if you have never done that before. So if you have been connected with UAS7 in some way for a very long time and are interested in signing up or learning more about this project of ours, please visit a link that I'll drop in the comment section or under the YouTube video just a little bit later. So there will also be a short questionnaire that you could just complete. It will all be anonymized information, or simply get in touch with me for questions. So I too want to thank all the judges from the entrepreneurship centers of our American UAS7 and bilateral partners, which Marvin Göldner will introduce in a little more detail in a minute. They include judges from the University of Pittsburgh, from University at Albany and Drexel University, and Baruch College. And so it's great to have all the partners together. And from the bottom of my heart, also thank Marvin Göldner and Sabine Baumann and all the Berliners and the team who made this possible. Everyone involved, of course, the DWIH, and to the teams, I wish you much luck and have fun.
Thank you so much. And with that, I would like to introduce our judges, and some of them I've met in person, thanks to you, Patricia. So from Drexel University, we have Chuck, and Chuck is the Vice Dean Educational Affairs of the Charles D. Close School of Entrepreneurship. So hello, Chuck, thanks for joining us here. Next, we have Brenton Barber, and he will support us from the University of Pittsburgh. Hello, Brenton. Thanks for joining this initiative and supporting this initiative. And then we have from New York, Kelly. Kelly is the Program Director, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Programs at the University of Albany. Hello, Kelly, and thanks again also for supporting this. And Adia Johnson from the CUNY Startups and the Baruch College. Hello, Adia, and thanks for joining us here. It's great to have like so many that we're like able to have like such a broad network and combine this here. Let me have like just a few words about the Startup Incubator Berlin, because we are the entrepreneurship center of the HWR Berlin, or the Berlin School of Business and Law. And we support early stage startups from the idea to market readiness. And we target like mostly academic startups, and we support them with know-how, infrastructure, and all what we do is like for free, because we got like support through third-party funding programs such as the European Social Fund. And what we highly encourage, and this is like what you will see here, a broad variety of our startups, is like the lean startup method. So like instead of focusing here on writing business plans and like being in the basement and working on the idea, we encourage everybody to go out to test and do this like with a high speed and get validation as early as possible. So as already mentioned, so like actually there are like 4 pillars of like, and we are a classical startup incubator. That means we support with know-how. So we have coaches, we have mentoring, we do lots of workshops, and of course have a broad community to have like peer learning activities between like our peers and our startups. We have network events, and such as this initiative here is like connecting our startups with like the outside world and bringing like business angels and potential investors. And also like what you will find here, once you come to Berlin, everybody who's like watching this is highly invited to join us here in Berlin Siemensstadt. Is like the infrastructure, means like co-working space, our awesome video studio, prototyping, like this is what you can find here. And also we can provide the startups with like public funding programs. Those are like non-refundable public scholarships that helps our early stage entrepreneurs to focus in full time on their business idea. And what you will see today is like startups from like a variety of programs. So if you have an idea and want to join the Startup Incubator Berlin, you can join just with an idea. We do like every 2 months a lean startup sprint, and lots of our founders you will see now have joined our incubator through that program. It's a 2-week program where we encourage everyone to come by and learn about like founding a startup. And then you can join like our Startup Now program, which will provide you with all the infrastructure what we have around here, workshop, mentoring, the infrastructure, co-working space. And then we have different scholarship programs, such as the Berlin Startup Scholarship, Exist Women. We will also have one founder from the Exist Women program, which is an initiative to support female entrepreneurs. And that's something what we also like highly encourage here. And hopefully I'm able to announce like another scholarship program, especially for female entrepreneurs, and the Exist Startup Grant. So much about the Startup Incubator Berlin. So if you're watching this, we have an awesome website, which is startup-incubator.berlin, where you can find all the information. And now why everybody is here for the startup pitches. We will have like 5 teams from our incubator. Where you can see here, it's like a huge variety of what we have here as the program. So like 2 teams from the Startup Now program. That's like where founders can join us mostly like in part-time. That means they can be like really early stage or more advanced, but can do this beside like their job or because of like other commitments. Then we have like 1 startup, Anika, who's like receiving the startup scholarship, the Berlin Startup Scholarship. 1 team, Deep File, all of the 3 founders are around from an Exist Startup Scholarship, which is like also a great initiative in Germany to support early stage startups, and 1 founder from our Exist Women program. So the rules for this pitch are like pretty basic. We have a clock running here with 5 minutes. So the founders have like 5 minutes to present their idea, tell them what they do, and maybe like also why they want to come to the US. And afterwards, this will be followed by 8 minutes Q&A from our judges. And again, I encourage our judges to ask hard questions. So like we play hardball. So that's great. That's why everybody is here to get challenged. So please challenge our teams. And then the next team follows. Rules are pretty basic. All the judges have like 9 categories, which mostly covers like a classical pitch deck. They can score up to 10 points per each section. And each judge can assign 10 points to 1 team as a bonus point. So with all of that, I would like to kick off and welcome the first team, Seamless. And I have Dennis here. So like, please come to me on the stage. And once you press that button in order to get to your slides, we will start the clock. And I will leave you here alone.
Sure, thank you. Thank you very much. Also, warm welcome from my side. Then I'll start. So, hello, I'm Dennis from Seamless Events, and I wanted to show you how to discover, book, and create seamless events. So, I just wanted to start with the number of 10 million. What does those 10 million say? Actually, it's the number of events per year held in the US. And 95,000 of those events are just in New York. So this is the leading city for the events. And as you can see, the event market globally is one of the biggest industries worldwide, and the US holds a stake of, or like a share of 30% of it. And it's growing rapidly. Per year, it says 5.1% per year. And all of those people have the same problem. When you want to organize an event, it gets chaotic, as you can see here. So if it's just you, or if it's an office manager at the office who gets the task to organize an event, you have a lot more to think of, and you come out at the end of the day with much more question marks than you had before. And that's just one side of the problem in this industry. You also have the other side, the suppliers. Like from getting in request in until have a real customer organizing an event, it's a huge process, and those businesses lack in budget, time resources, and marketing resources. And that's why we're here to change that with Seamless. We want to disrupt the global event market by building the solution for everyone to explore, organize, and book the event with the help of AI, and also connect with the booking-ready audience for the suppliers. You can see here, Seamless for the users at the end is going to be the end-to-end event management tool, while for the supplier, it's going to be the growth engine. So what we're trying to do is build this tool to have a data-driven matchmaking in the end, where you just click and buy and organize your event. We're about here to celebrate and create. And this differentiates us from our competitors, as you can see, because we have the real personalization in there, and it's an all-in-one solution at the end. And how we're going to get the revenue in, we have customers, they can pay per event, and we want to have a subscription based. And I'm very happy to share that even the SIB where I'm standing here, giving me the opportunity, is going to be one of the customers for a subscription model. And the third one is an availability feature for the suppliers. With that, we plan to launch the whole platform in Q1 2026, even just a bit more than a year. But in the meantime, while also developing, we want to organize events to not just get shares in the market. We want to gain market insights, build relationships, and have customers already paying for the solution or like for the idea that we have. And they do it, as you could see. And with that, you can also see like the pretty cool revenue stream there that once it's launched, we will scale it really in a fast way up. Meet our team. We have Carla, who is our CMO, and then an intern team of 4 people who are helping us setting everything up in the back, and me as a founder and CEO who is responsible also for sales. So you have marketing and sales, and we come very good together and not fight as usually. Thank you for your time. I would really love to get your questions. Follow us on our journey, and let's discover, book, and create together. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis. That was like 1 minute and 30 above the time. Let's kick off. Give me 1 second to reset the clock. And then, yeah, all good. So, and now, oh, give me 1 second. Now we can start with the Q&A part. So, judges, please feel free to raise your questions.
Dennis, hi, Chuck Sacco from Drexel University in Philadelphia. Nice to meet you. So you mentioned, obviously, it's a big market, obviously, event space, 10 million events, 95,000 in New York City alone. Are you thinking about any particular niches, though, certain types of events? Because there are big, large-scale events that are run multiple days, and then there's a 2-hour type event. So where are you thinking about your market focus?
Yeah, we want to focus, first of all, thanks for the question. But where we want to focus first is to go to the people with the budget. So basically B2B customers who are not bigger, or like companies that are not bigger than 200 people, because after that number, it's really hard to organize something, or the effort that we put in is a different one. So we're focusing on the summer parties, winter parties that all the companies has, and they have the budget to come along with to get really recurring revenue in. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Dennis, Kelly Reardon from the University of Albany in New York. Well done, well-paced pitch. I have a question regarding customer discovery. Can you tell me, you called out New York City as being one of the largest cities to hold the most events. Can you tell me about the validation or invalidation you might have received from doing customer discovery?
Well, can you repeat that question? I think I did not get it right.
So I'm sure you've had hypotheses about your business. And so I'm curious about the testing of those hypotheses in the form of customer discovery. What did you test? What did you hear from the market?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for repeating that. Now I got the question. What we did, basically, we just went out to events and talked with suppliers. So we went to locations, to caterers, and asked for their feedback, how they're struggling, what the pains are to do a really good discovery in there. And most of them have really the pain to get sales in, because they get a lot of inquiries for the same day, and at the end they don't know how to use this customer in the end. So that's where they struggle. And maybe it could be that they have a different relationship they could use, because they have a really good network at the end. So this event industry, we figured out, works on who knows whom, and everyone has built-in relationships. So we're figuring out to use the already built integrations, or like relationships, to integrate it into our platform. So at the end, we can also give the user, which we did also feedback with, and they have the struggle that everything is not transparent enough from their side. So when you want to organize an event from the user side, you just, first of all, Google it if you don't know. And afterwards, you have 50 tabs open, and sending out the email to the different locations, or like caterers with the same requirements at the end, to hope that they write you back in the funnel. And we wanted to solve this, and we came to the conclusion, really, with talking to both sides, that we get the data and can do the matchmaking, besides to create transparency with the availability check that the locations offers us.
Hey, Brandon Barber from University of Pittsburgh. Good pitch. I like the idea. I have some questions on the technical side of it. So I noticed you're looking for, like a technical lead on this project. Do you have a ballpark idea of what the cost of developing this platform might be to hit this, pretty fast approaching deadline?
Yeah, I mean, we requested to get an offer for that, and what came out was probably 30,000 euros, to be honest. But I assume it would be pretty much more regarding to the topic of AI and building the crucial number of data sets. So it will be an ongoing process and would at the end cost roughly around 70,000, what we came out as a number. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
I have another question for you, Dennis. What will you do to keep the customers on your platform and not take their business off and contact each other privately?
That's a great question. I think that's also one of the crucial questions out there. So what we would offer is the all-in-one package. What we're doing with the suppliers is really getting our own deals that we can offer to the customers. So at the end, when you as a customer ask the location itself, it will be not that pricey as when you book it from us, because we use the network and we have the relationship already built. And that's where we can play with the price. And it's not only the price, it's also that you give away the time that you put into that and all the effort. So to have everything in one place set as a package, it's easier than you looking for the different suppliers out there.
To follow on with that, Dennis, so you're ultimately, the more I'm thinking about this, a bit of a marketplace, right? So you have company event planners here, or somebody's got that responsibility, and you've got suppliers over here. So oftentimes in marketplace business models, there's some interesting characteristics, because you need to match the needs of on one side with the supply on the other side. So from the supplier side, how are you thinking about building that database of suppliers? Because there's so many different aspects of supply, because there's so many different aspects of events, that makes it interesting to the suppliers to want to be on this platform. So if you put any thought into how you're going to build this marketplace up in a meaningful way.
Yeah, I mean, we want to look first what different types of events are there and what is the most one that it's asked for. So if there's one that's not in the platform and you're asking for, let's say, startup matching event, we will for sure be able to do that. But we first of all go to the suppliers and already give them the guidance and the packages that we would like to offer to the customers, because we're speaking with the other side. And based on that, we create those packages which are ready to build. And when you click through it, you just directly see is the location available or not. And based on this, we can create the data matchmaking. We also don't want to take the personal aspect out of it. We still believe that this is very human-based and emotional to organize an event. So this is just the first step, to have a guided discovery with an AI. And the suppliers agree on that. And afterwards, the human comes in and helps you to organize it and specialize or personalize the whole structure of it.
Okay. Although not scalable in the beginning, it's obviously something you could do on your own without AI. So you to really learn about the needs of the market and making sure that you're satisfying the various types of events. And I guess one of my concerns is just that there's so many varied types of events, and but locations is very location time specific. So learning as much as you can and getting insights into the needs of your customers and what suppliers are available. You'll need to do a lot of legwork on that before you build in anything too sophisticated, it seems.
Yeah, first of all, we just want to go into the market and create the relationships. And then afterwards, we can, with all the feedback, we can just create something out of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was the signal of our clock. Thank you so much, Dennis. And now,
Thank you very much, guys.
Switch over to the team, our founder from our Berlin Startup Scholarship, which supports also early stage founders with up to 2,200 euros per month for 6 months, by the way. And on our mission to support like more female founders. Anne is like one great example. He's like now joining us. And I hope, as already mentioned, that we also have like a female only dedicated scholarship program in the future. Anna, let me just set the clock to 5 minutes, and then you can tell us about like your mission and what you do. So, and once you press the button to your slide, I start the clock. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Marvin. Hi, everyone. I'm Anne, and I'm introducing to you today OniCare, your fertility company which provides holistic egg freezing support. So what is the problem here? The problem is actually way bigger than egg freezing or fertility. The problem is that women really stay in shitty relationships. And if you ask yourself why that is, it's because women have a ticking biological clock. Women are born with all the eggs, and from the day they are born, those numbers decrease significantly. We found that many women, especially in their 30s, tend to stay in relationships just because they are aware of their fertile window, and they don't want to miss out on the chance of having a baby. The second part of the problem is that women are really left alone on their fertility journey. 13 minutes is the average time a US doctor spends with the patient. So it's not really a surprise that 84 women feel misunderstood by healthcare professionals, and we also found that 80% of women don't even know where to start their fertility journey. And the third layer of the problem is that the best time to freeze your eggs is when you can least afford it. Peak fertility is at the age of 25. At that time, the net median salary per month is $3K in the US, and the total cost of egg freezing is almost $15K. So if you do the math here, you see those numbers aren't aligning. So what's the solution? The solution is OniCare. Oni is Korean and means big sister, and this is what we aim to be. We navigate and simplify the egg freezing process and make it really an end-to-end experience. We start with the chatbot to answer all the fertility questions through the platform and community where you get your personalized plan of action and also get connected with the right partners. We give access with flexible financing options. So we really guide through the first consultation, the procedure, and to aftercare, adding also an emotional support layer. We will have B2B and B2C revenue streams, with the biggest chunk coming from commission fees, but also protection fees and value-added services. The competitive landscape in the US is not really centering single women in a holistic way. You can see there are several providers who focus on financial support, some focus on the medical support, and others focus on the process support. And we aim to really connect all these dots by adding also really the mental component. We found that a lot of insurances and health providers really don't cover this end-to-end experience, and especially they don't focus on egg freezing, and they also don't focus on single women. So looking at the market size, it's said that egg freezing is supposed to be the next big thing. It is as disruptive as the pill. So the total addressable market is almost $4 billion US. The service addressable market is 2.1 billion, and our sum is 31 million. When we look at the target market and our target group, you can see it's growing naturally bigger. Already today, 1 of 6 people face infertility globally. That means they try to conceive for more than 1 year, and it didn't lead to a successful pregnancy. Also, we see in the States that the year-over-year increase in egg freezing cycles is 30%, which is actually quite high. And also, when we look at the younger target group, we see that already today, Gen Z women are worried about their future fertility with 3 out of 5 women. Our go-to-market strategy is the chatbot on our own platform, starting in Germany with strategic partnerships, pharma companies, fertility clinics, health insurances, bank, and corporate benefits, but we aim to also move into a space where we have an educational app, be listed in the portfolio of health insurances, and also target at the moments of ease a bit more, so be a bit more preventative when we go to universities, school education programs, festivals, and dating apps. And we, of course, plan to expand to North America and the UK. Our attraction is that we did a lot of user research. We have a wait list, already pilot users. Our website is live, as well as the first version of the bot, and the brand is registered. We are supported by several scholarship programs. And with we, I mean Regina, my co-founder, and me, we have a combined expertise of over 15 years, and together 10 plus years in business transformation, really shaping digital products and solutions, and also to advisors, because we really want to revive the path to motherhood with our fertility company, and especially the US is a great market because it's way more fast-paced, more things are happening there. The market is already a bit more open, so we'd love to go to New York City and get connected with the right partners. And yeah, hopefully see you in the Big Apple, and thank you.
Thank you, Anna, and also like around 10 seconds over the time limit. That's great. Let me set the clock to like now 8 minutes, and then we hand over to the judges. Time is running, so please.
Hello, it's Dee again. Good job. I had a question. What are your 5-year projections and how much is it going to be per customer?
Sorry, can you
What is the 5-year? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What are your 5-year projections? And what is the cost per customer?
Right now the 5-year projection is $21 million in year 5. And the customer acquisition cost is something we are continuously working on. So it's really hard to predict at the moment, but we aim to be lower than what the fertility clinics do at the moment.
So my follow-up question would be, how did you get the projections without knowing what the actual pricing would be per customer?
So right now we looked into the market and saw, okay, how many women are doing the egg freezing process? And if we optimize it and really increase those numbers and give the financial support, so our hypothesis is that if we gain this flexible or give this flexible financing access, those numbers will increase. And what you see also the 30% year-over-year increase in egg freezing cycles, those numbers contribute to this rising revenue, because when we cooperate with clinics and other strategic partnerships, and we have the commission fees, and if we are lower in our commission fees than their customer acquisition costs, this is how the increase will happen for the revenue.
And great presentation. Is this, in this space, is there a lot of what I call educating the market, that you have to build awareness that this is the type of service that is available to women, or are women and families going to be seeking you out because they have this problem and they know they have the problem and they're looking for a solution? Just trying to get a sense, is it more of a push or a pull type market?
Yes, very good question. So we have many ideas for increasing awareness, such as like PR campaigns, and there's a lot of things one can do to educate more. And also with our board, we want to really place this product in the right places, also at gynecologist's office, so we can already increase the awareness there, that people can really ask questions and they're not intimidated, because right now people go to a fertility clinic and this is a bit more of a safe space. So this is what we're doing. And so then the word spreads in a way faster way than you would do with word of mouth or like with online education on a platform. And we also see that in the States, it's way more accepted already, the egg freezing procedure, because in the United States, you have a big advantage compared to Germany. Almost 50% of US companies provide fertility benefits, and they're doing already a good job on educating, especially couples, on fertility treatments. And this is what I mean, we want to focus also more on single women, because right now the focus is really on IVF, which is a bit further down in the fertility life cycle. But the awareness is already there. So to answer your question with PR pitches, the fertility WhatsApp bot, or the bot in general, and then also targeting already at these points where you are very aware in the States already.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any traction to date?
Yes, we have over 50 potential customers on our wait list, and we already have 30 plus users on the bot, and we just had our first release in a testing, so it was already a great starting point. And we have pilot users we support on the way right now through the egg freezing procedure to also learn with them and see, okay, what kind of questions are they having.
And I'll jump back in again. Are you familiar with the political landscape in the United States and the issues as it relates to women's fertility management, and the fact that the United States, it's actually a very essentially fragmented market with various state rules and regulations?
Sorry, I have a hard time hearing with the ventilator. I'm sorry. Can you repeat it again? I didn't understand because it's a bit loud.
It was more a question about your understanding of the U.S. market and some of the potential, I'll call it political risk as it relates to women's fertility treatment and laws in various states.
Yes, I mean, I'm hoping that the election in the upcoming month is going to be more on the positive side for fertility treatments. And I'm very aware that there is a big, I mean, also the States is a very diverse country, right? It depends really where you are, and also your different states have different regulations. I worked a lot in the US market before when I worked as a marketing manager for a sex toy company. So like I know already like this, like how to deal with sensitive topics also for the US audience. This was our biggest market, so I'm a bit familiar with it. I also been to the States before, but of course it's a fair point, and we can just, I think a lot of things depend on the upcoming elections, because you have this embryo freezing rights that changed, and it's really, I'm hoping for the best, but of course it's something that's a bit out of our hands, and I cross my fingers, so.
Good. I'm glad that you're aware of it. Yeah, paying
Yes.
attention to it. That's really going to be important in terms of your U.S. market entry strategy. So
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But good point. So thank you for emphasizing on it again.
Hey, Brandon again. I had a question about the mental health support side of this. Does this mean that you'll be partnering with mental health providers or looking, at therapy services in conjunction with the fertility clinic?
Yes, exactly. So we aim to start with this, but we also want to build our very own concept of it. So right now you also have like for pregnant women in preparation of birth, you have like a doula or something, and we want to create a concept as like the Oni, like the big sister who guides you through this. And we start with psychologists, but we also want to work on a new fertility mental health concept to really provide the necessary mental support they would need, because we really need to be specialized a bit more in this. So yes, we will work with psychologists and also coaches. So and give this special tweak on top.
So you'll sort of be developing like a new kind of portion of therapy, like a different type of.
Yes, so we start with what we have, and then we really want to expand it and say, okay, what can we do in the space? Because right now is the limited time at the clinic, and the doctors, as I said, like it's only 13 minutes. And we want to really also solve a pain point for the doctors, because many say we cannot provide this holistic care. And we also said about this, like the doctors we spoke to, they give us this feedback, and we want to add to this. So really have this more holistic layer, so everyone is a bit more supported in the process, the clinics, the doctors, and the patients.
Good. So like there are 3 seconds on the clock. If there's like no more questions, it's like burning under your nails, I would thank you, Anna.
Thank you for the questions and taking the time to also give me your thoughts.
Thank you, Anna. And coming up next is also like one of our scholarship teams. But Arina, Francesco, and Bayan, I don't know who's like now joining us here. So like, it's only you, or it's like.
So I'm presenting today. Perhaps the others will join in for the questions. Let's see.
I mean, like something that is not on the, but maybe like we can have this for the live stream. So like there is, no, like I guess it will not work because you only see like who's speaking. But the judges see also like our backstage room, which is like the glimpse behind the room behind us. So this is where the others are. Let me put you on. Let's test this here. So let's go back. These are your slides. There are 5 minutes on the clock. And with the first, and I guess you can, yes, this is also working.
Perfect.
With the first word, I start the timer. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arina. This is Deep File, and we enable finding answers. Together with my brilliant co-founders, Francesco and Bayang, who are coding hard in the back, we're making AI accessible and secure for all of us because we believe that AI should do the boring jobs. And seeing the supports we receive, we must be onto something. The problem we tackle is document management. We think that it's way too costly and inefficient for such a monumental existential tasks of doing knowledge transfer right. Our internal search is not really helping find our own files, much less so our colleagues, our messy colleagues' files. Generative AI, on the other hand, is super hyped for providing massive productivity gains, but it comes with a catch of your data systematically ending up in a third-party cloud. We're very wary of that here in Germany, and that's why we give you the solution. You can now have AI-powered efficiency while keeping your secrets, thanks to a completely local process. It's also more affordable, it's better for the environment, and it's completely autonomous. So even on a hot summer day like this, when the ACs are causing electricity to short circuit, your whole internet is down, or the electricity is not working, you can still run DeepFile. What we essentially give you is an improved search bar, a semantic search for documents that are too sensitive to upload into ChatGPT. What you see here is DeepFile understands your intent, and it finds the answer within your archive in seconds. It always shows you the exact source and highlights the parts where it took the quote from. So you can always see for yourself if it's a hallucination or if it makes actual sense. The more you interact with it, the better it becomes. We designed DeepFile for knowledge workers like us, and we tailor it to specific verticals and small and medium-sized enterprises. Small and medium-sized enterprises are very disadvantaged when it comes to digitalization. And we just help them leapfrog a few steps. They don't have to OCR or sort their archives. With us, all their knowledge from past 20, 30 years of operations is at their fingertips. So they can continue where their colleagues left off yesterday or 5 years ago. Our special sauce is that we empower our non-technical users to not just understand, but shape AI. We make performant open source models available to them, and we empower them to train them themselves using their own data and always checking the results. As everything's running on premise, this is quite an autonomous and advanced decentral setup. As the global document management market is growing at double-digit rates every year, we have quite a interesting business case on our hands. We're starting with NDA heavy and risk-averse German market first. On the map, you see our pilots distribution. And another market that's very exciting for us is, of course, the US. We've already got a little feel of it through our interns, Kevin, Mira, and Connor, who are already spreading the word about us on their campuses. And we love to make connections to enter this market next. We can't stress this enough, but unlike some others, we're not a classic data company, but pioneers of decentralized AI. We provide a service. We're not here after your data. And another indicator of market health is healthy competition. It's getting crowded for sure, but it's not a winner takes it all situation. There's enough cake to go around for everyone. We're already outperforming some of the seasoned competition in terms of quality, speed, and we're not planning to stop there. Our full version will provide the highest possible level of autonomy and trust for small and medium-sized enterprises of each respective vertical. And we can do that quite affordably. With this, we have calculated that we can reach profitability already when hitting only 5K paid users next year. Our go-to-market strategy you see structured with pilots and educational partnerships. And the meat and bread is, of course, B2B SaaS, which is highly scalable. We're on a mission to make AI more human-centric and inclusive. We've hit a few milestones along the way, and right now our main challenge is proving product market fit, expanding to the US and fundraising. With the latter two, we'd like some help. And we're super excited to join STEP USA.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I stopped the screen sharing. I also like reset the clock. What about the rest? So like, do you want to join? So like, there's also Francesco Bayang is in the other room. Right. So and judges, please. Questions.
So maybe this is an obvious question that I'm just missing, but AI is often used for knowledge that we don't have. So tell me how I'm going to find those answers in my own data.
The short answer is you won't.
Okay.
But we're already talking, well, this is about finding answers within your own data, but we're also talking to universities in Frankfurt who have access to big libraries, and indexing and making those searchable. You could access data from books, from past master's theses and so on, and that would open completely new doors, but that would be step 3, the B2G part. That's long sales cycle, and we don't want to talk about this as a startup.
So in the current market then, what is the real pain point in finding that information from your own data? How did you quantify it?
Sure. So we have conducted extensive market research, and we've learned that it takes an average consultant up to 10 hours per week to just locate stuff on their computer or their company's intranet. It's a massive loss. They could, I shouldn't make this joke probably, but they could save a lot of time and use it way better just by optimizing their processes. There are some industries that are where the pain is the highest, such as real estate, consulting, everything dealing with finance, everyone dealing with long and complicated contracts. Do you want to add something?
No, yeah, to continue. Yeah, the problem is that when we focus on small, medium enterprises in particular, everybody works in a collaborative way. So the problem is not just tapping in your own information, so the documents that you have produced, but also what has been produced by your colleagues. So today the process is to simply ask someone that knows where the files are, documents are, and to ask if there is any information on something. Current already existing search tool are not so performing. So we provide them with a software where they can build a knowledge base, even starting a new project based on what has been produced into their companies. So not just asking questions on their own files, but also what has been done by colleagues, which means that they can locate and files and documents that otherwise would not have access to unless asking directly to that person. And sometimes can be also like difference in time. So maybe that information was produced a year ago by a person that is not even there anymore.
So yeah, onboarding is a classical example. It takes quite a while until you're up to speed, and you might not want to bother your colleagues all the time with dumb questions. You can ask DeepFile 24/7. And it's like, your personal assistant who knows everything about the company. And consultants can recycle past tenders. So they don't have to start thinking from scratch. They can see, hey, what kind of proposals have my colleagues been working on before? And another option where it's another case that we see is generational change. So a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises in Germany, they're changing hands from the father who has been running the company in the 80s and 90s and knew how to do business back then, now has to put his life's work into the hands of his children or her children. And often it's not an easy task, especially if all the knowledge is centralized. Nobody knows how everything works. So good processes and digitalization and having access to all that knowledge can really smoothen up this generational transformation.
How do you feel you're going to differentiate? Because this is a really noisy market, right? I mean, every day there's scores of new AI or AI-enabled startups or companies launching, with .ai as their domain. I'm really struggling to see how you navigate what is a really challenging space. And I think what you're trying to differentiate on, but tell me if I'm wrong, is just on privacy and security of your own company's information. But I guess my question is that really going to be enough? So just love to hear your thoughts on the market and competition.
Thank you very much. This is a legit question that everybody asked. So we do have an answer for that. For the first one is, of course, as you just said, our main differentiation is that we provide a completely local process, something that has not been done by other companies so far. Everybody focusing on privacy and security in terms of encrypting data. But the problem is that anyway, when it comes to indexing your own entire knowledge base of your company, which means confidential data, your secret recipes, as well as NDA protected data and so on, they must anyway be stored to a third-party cloud. So correct me if I'm wrong, also considering the US market, there is a Cloud Act, which means that the government, for instance, could have access to documents stored on any cloud. We provide instead a local process. So what we do is to use quantized models, language models, so to have them so efficient to be able to run on a small, like a normal laptop, like even the Lenovo that you might be using, or like any computer, anyway. And so this is the first differentiation that we offer. The second one is like the possibility for users to further fine-tune with their data on so that they can use like a specific language model for their specific industry. So for example, like if we consider like our main competitors, they offer like language model with a generalistic approach. So if you look at GLAM, for example, what we do is to make a step forward by creating like language model specified further fine-tuned on specific domain. For example, like our first approach, as she mentioned before, because we are in close contact with real estate asset management companies that requested the software, we are actually fine-tuning the open source model that we are working with on that specific domain. So to provide also the context that the language model needs to provide better quality answer on that specific document. And these are the two main aspects that we focus on. The second one can be summarized into creating a decentralized fine-tuning approach. So everyone can, the more they use the software, the more can fine-tune also on their own data.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all, unlike the others. We pre-train different models for every and each vertical, so it knows the jargon. And then the users take this model and fine-tune it further with their own data and their own interactions.
Great, thank you. Just one thought real quickly. SME is so broad that, and you mentioned real estate or realtors maybe as an angle, like, you know, building out vertical niches and understanding the needs of those markets specifically and be able to talk their language could be a good market entry approach. But thank you for your answers.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Yeah, great presentation. I like the idea a lot. So I have questions like, it seems like a lot of the reason that some of this stuff is not run locally is because of the processing power it takes to crunch through large data sets. So like, what are the big limitations and technical challenges that you see? Like, you know, you're talking about running it on like a little laptop. How are you going to do that? And what are the limitations of those data sets that you have right now?
You're completely correct. The computing power of a software is limited by the RAM that's being used. So there are three processes essentially. The first process is giving access to the folders you want your software to access and search through. That's the indexing. Depending on the size of the folder and the OS of your laptop, it can take a while. The second process is finding the right document, and the third one is the Gen AI component. In big companies, the indexing part doesn't have to be stored locally. It can be stored on an intranet database. So regardless of the computing power of each individual user, they get access to the one single source of truth of the company.
And last remarks on this is like, language models are capable of doing many things. For example, they can also write you a poetry, but for the sake of DeFi, of the functionalities of the product that we want to offer, that, for example, is not necessary. For this reason, we are shrinking the language model to the only essential action that we foresee that are, let's say, beneficial and necessary in order to have a smooth operation of what we offer as a product. So let's say that the AI is functional to the product itself.
Okay, thanks.
Great. So
Thank you.
thank you, DWIH. And now I like to welcome our last presenter today, which is Madina. Madina is a follower of our Exist Women program. So
Hi.
happy to have you here. Again, this the same as for the others. So like this is the presenter, just like it's tested. So yeah, so this is working. And with your first sentence, I start the clock, and then you have 5 minutes to present your idea. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Martina. I represent Brains. Last year, me and my co-founder realized that the majority of the human problems and problems in the world come from poor education. What I mean by problems, it is civil unrest, global warming, and also wars, among others. This then brought us to a question: can education save humankind? Speaking of wars, this is the story of Anna. She and her son were in their apartment in Dnipro when the Russian rocket landed and exploded the apartment. When she crawled out of the rubble, finding her son was her main priority. And luckily, the boy was safe, and they moved to Kiev together with the whole family because of the war, where Anna is now establishing her life and finding a new job and a new home. And 5 million of other Ukrainians are going through the same. They had to leave their houses because of the war. But this is not a problem only in Ukraine. Over 1 billion of people are expected to be fully displaced because of the climate change, civil unrest, and other conflicts. But we have good news. We at Grains believe that every crisis is an opportunity for an evolution. So this is what we do. We are a first of its kind nonprofit hospitality school that supports displaced persons in navigating crisis. We launched our first chapter in Ukraine with the aim of expanding globally and help people worldwide. This is our founding team. This is my co-founder, Elena. She's the CEO of Shelest Hotel, which is, by the way, my favorite hotel in Ukraine. She is a managing partner of 2 other hospitality institutions and has experience of launching 11 restaurants. I am Medina, and I'm an ex-venture developer. I also had charity before. I'm also Forbes 30 under 30 list maker in Germany and Kazakhstan. And as of this year, I'm a Obama Leader Europe from Obama Foundation. This is the goal of Grains, to build a tool that helps people worldwide turn crisis into life upgrade. And we are doing that by introducing 360 educational approach. This approach is focusing on personal well-being first, and only then teaches people hard and soft skills that are needed for their success in career and life. And we are doing that by establishing a Grains app and a Grains school. So this is the first step for students in their educational program. At Grains app, they are going through the life navigation course, which helps them to answer what's next question. This question is the main question people who are displaced are asking themselves, and all people in crisis do ask themselves. We are doing that together with How Are You program, which is the biggest mental health program in Ukraine. And we have Trade Republic Bank and Kraken, crypto trading platform, which helped us with product management and product development. Then once personal goals are set, the students go through the theoretical courses, again, at the Grains app.
We are developing our own machine learning algorithm together with data scientists in Frankfurt. This algorithm helps us to streamline the courses development and also make it cheaper and faster to produce. We are planning to launch 8 courses over 5 years, where the personal well-being part will be iterated in all of them. We have Park Hyatt as well, our main partner in this, among other hotel chains in Europe. They help us with product development. And this is our first school located in Kiev. It's freshly built, located on the territory of the Shelest Hotel, where students can get hands-on experience in working in a hotel. And we also project around 3,500 students over 5 years. And as Brains is a collective project, it unites the experts and leaders of hospitality industry in Ukraine, whose logos you can see down there. We have those leaders as teachers because the whole industry needs this product. We also guarantee job opportunities. Quickly, can I do the last slide? So we want to spin off Grains as a B2B product for hospitality institutions in order to finance the nonprofit part of Grains. And we want to do it in USA because it's the second largest hospitality market. It is also the biggest country with migration rates. And you have very high fees for professional hospitality education. And if we make it in US, we can finance the development of the new physical schools, provide free education for displaced people, and also finance the operational expenses of the whole project. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Martina. I already dialed in the 8 minutes for the Q&A. And with that, let's hand over to the judges.
I guess I'll jump in. Medina, what great presentation, wonderful mission. You said you're organized as a nonprofit, is that correct?
Yes, currently we are a nonprofit, and we're planning to establish a for-profit product, which will be the Grains app. And we're also already testing it with our partners, both in Ukraine and in Europe. In Ukraine, pretty much with the whole industry, because we have them as partners, and in Europe, mostly with Park Hyatt, Soho House, and Hotel del Rho. It's in the test phase, and we want it to basically make a milking cow for the nonprofit.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
I had a question regarding the market. You mentioned some of the examples of the crises that are occurring and war, and I wondered why you had chose hospitality as the industry to direct these individuals in this experience too, based on those crises. Often hospitality isn't a market that's going to be booming when those things happen. So I was wondering, is this something that could be deployed under a different industry as well?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, hospitality is the most accessible industry where you move to a new country. Second, if we speak about Ukraine, I'll just quickly clarify that. The hospitality industry in Ukraine is growing 50% year on year because you have a saturation of people in the most protected cities. What we want to do with Grains app, which is a B2B for-profit, is offer it in the countries where there are no conflicts and where migrants are moving. So ideally, we want to even cooperate with the governments in order to create an integration system or an opportunity for people who come to the country, register as migrants, and have an opportunity to get a professional education and start working straight away, and avoid this downtime of figuring out what to do, both on professional and mental level. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. I'll ask another question. Is there protectable IP in this solution?
Yes, we are currently protecting or about to start the patent for the machine learning algorithm that we're doing. It is pretty much a version of IBM Watson, if you know it. It works with big data in order to basically streamline the time that you spend on like reviewing a lot of books, interviews, articles in order to make a course out of it. So we do it for our specific needs for the development of the learning course for hospitality. And for that, we will get a patent.
Dan, a quick question about physical location. So how dependent is your business model on physical locations?
Great question. So initially Grains was started as a physical school, but then we realized that we won't make ourselves sustainable if it's going to be just a physical school. That's how the idea of the app was created. And then the app became the part of the school. So we hope that everything will be good and our physical school won't be touched. But the Grains app is also a protective measure to, in case something happens with the physical school, the whole school ecosystem is online, and the student management and all the courses are online at the end. So that's why it works actually without the school. The school is more like full version for people who can attend, but essentially we want to build a digital college in a very easy and soft way in order to make it available everywhere in the world.
Is there an opportunity to partner with universities or restaurants or other hospitality companies?
Oh, we already do that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it in terms of US expansion.
Yeah, so our entry is through Park Hyatt and also Soho House, and they are our main partners. And we also partner with smaller restaurants that are known like locally, mostly in Europe. But as I said, we have the entry through pretty big chain of Soho House and Park Hyatt.
Okay, great, thank you.
And since the Grains is not a project that's only like for me and from me and my co-founder, we are really powered by the expertise and knowledge of hotel managers, chefs in big institutions in Europe. We pretty much already create a product for people, and then they already told us that they will be integrating it in their operations at those hotels and restaurants that we partner with.
So what was your business model? How are you going to sustain this?
So we have a subscription model for the employee upskilling and training with like an average pay per employee or for a package. And this will be secure our recurring revenue.
Can you talk a little bit about the competition in your space?
So you have mostly like a bigger educational platforms like Udemy, but they as well, mostly those platforms, they are spread out around many industries. What makes us unique is that we specialize only in one industry, but we also cover the health, mental health of the people that are going through this educational program. And we believe because we are going to partner directly with the hospitality institutions for product development, we will have a competitive edge.
Great. So, and
Thank you so much.
that was the timer. Thank you so much. And with that, we had like 5 teams presenting here, and I guess we can all agree on that this is a good representation of the huge variety of different founders and stages what we have here at the Startup Incubator Berlin. What is now happening is that the 4 judges will leave us for breakout room. And I would like to welcome again Jan here in the spotlight. And use the opportunity while the judges are debating on the results of the pitch. We can like learn more about what you are doing with the DWIH in New York. So let's put Jan here also in the spotlight.
Thank you, Marvin. First of all, thank you to all of you presenting your pitches. I am absolutely impressed by the various missions, the human-centeredness, the technological insights, bringing your own research, but you also your own passions into various ideas that I think many of us are interested in solving. Some of these big problems, big and thorny issues. I think many of us are wondering about how we can create a greener future, perhaps via hydrogen production on the oceans, or helping those in need to find new career paths, and even helping me organize my files. So thank you for that. And let me start off by saying that this program that the winner will be joining, which is the STEP University USA program, is a pipeline that allows students who come, or researchers who come out of a university background and who have an interest in internationalizing into the US market, to come to the US and for 3 days not only learn from the people who are here, our partners at the German American Chamber of Commerce, but also myself, who typically runs a session on science, technology, and innovation clusters. But it's also a real opportunity, which I think already came to bear today, and that is to learn from each other. I think despite the fact that all of you have different ideas on and what you would like to bring to market, there's a lot of questions that are overlapping, a lot of issues that come to mind in order to scale to the next level, to identify the right marketing strategy, or even to engage with the right funding agencies, but also regulatory questions. I think some of you have already been fielding some of those regulatory questions, whether it's the law of the seas when it comes to sailing in the open ocean, or whether it's related to healthcare issues here in the US with a very broad federal system of different states in a, as you mentioned, fraught political or fragile political moment. So the STEP University program allows you to come here for 3 days and to not only get better insights into the US economic sort of landscape, but also, which I think also actually came out with some of the prompts and questions from the judges, to learn more about the cultural differences and the way of doing business in the US. Some of you have already mentioned that you had experience being in the US, either as students or working for different companies. So many of you already know that there are differences in the way that business is done in America. But also legal requirements. How do you set up a US entity? What are the visa regulations? What are some employment and product liability law issues that you need to consider? It all ends in a pitching and storytelling in the US event, which typically we have around 50 to 60 people come to these events, various fund managers, etc., but also another round of judges. And apart from that, you will learn more about sales strategies and how to engage with US investors and building your investor funnel more broadly. This is all wrapped into also helping you build a network here in New York in particular, but the US more broadly, by visiting incubators, meeting with angel investors and mentors. And at the same time, it is also an opportunity for you to get to know the network of German institutions that exist here in the United States. You've gotten to know two of us already. OS7 with Patricia Nobbe, who, as you have already learned, is working very hard on driving projects like these and establishing deeper ties with our university partners. But then there's also centers like ourselves, the German Center for Research Innovation, the German-American Chamber of Commerce. There's a whole range of institutions that will be available to you, and coming here to New York for a few days, getting to know them, having that first instance of a connection, I think can go a long way, even though you may not go to the US immediately, even though you may take another few years because you want to broaden your market share in Europe or Germany first. So that is the STEP University program itself. But I'm also don't just want to do the talking. So if there are some questions from you, I'd be happy to field those and engage in a little bit of a discussion with you all.
That's actually like, I mean, we can do it like this, and it's a great idea because like all of the startups are still watching. So I know you're like in our backstage room. If there are like already like some questions, please feel free to just open the mic and ask questions for all the startups like in the room behind me. So what is like always like what I was wondering about is like what is like the most like being an entrepreneur now, like coming in the American or like in the US markets, like what would you say is like the most crucial skills for an aspiring entrepreneur in the US?
Yeah, you know, many years ago, we would always talk about that German startups are very good at bringing technical problems to market, but they're not as good at communicating their product. I think all of you today have disproven that this is any longer the case. I think being able to really communicate your business idea and field hard and difficult questions from investors is really something that here in the US is very much trained early on for most startups coming out of university, incubators, etc. So that's I think still a little bit of a advantage for US startups, being able to communicate to potential investors and players in the market. But I know that Marvin and his team are working hard to bridge this gap, if that even exists anymore. And I think the other one right now, of course, has a lot to do with the monetary environment. A few years ago, prior to the COVID pandemic, access to capital was much easier. Capital was cheap, and startups would sometimes win funding with good ideas, but not necessarily a good product. Those times are over. Funders and investors have become pickier. I would, however, say that that's actually an opportunity. And that's an opportunity for all of you who already have, have gone into your product development further on, because it allows you to really come in with a proven concept, a proven idea, a proven product that can go to scale here. So really thinking about that is very important, and really also having a good handle on the economic structure and the economic framework in which we all exist in this moment, with capital not being as freely available as it used to be. So I think those are a couple of structural issues.
Is there like or do you consider like more or less like a cultural clash when you like, I mean, you bring German entrepreneurs with like American entrepreneurs, so like I guess it's like lots like a lot of big part of your business and your daily works. Like was like I mean, like how do you like American entrepreneurs or like US American entrepreneurs see like the Germans? So like it's like so something we can learn from.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think a great question. I think Fraunhofer, forget which Fraunhofer in Germany, came out with an interesting study. They did a large survey on sort of sentiment in the US and Germany, and what they found was that German startups are often seen as more technically versed. That the product itself has real technical depth, and that the startups bring that sort of a quality of work with them. And so in many ways, it's not so much about learning what the US can teach Germany, Germany is already seen, and German startups are already seen of high quality caliber here in America. So I think that's a real opportunity to really, when you come, work with people and be confident in your approach with them, because it's certainly not the case that the US looks in any way on Europe or Germany in a lesser way. Quite on the contrary, there's a deep understanding that technical solution to great big problems can come from Europe and really be scaled here in the US. And that's certainly an experience I've been making.
It's like, I mean, something wrong assumptions, or like typical wrong assumptions when German entrepreneurs are like, so like, then now we go to the US and this will be like, it's gonna be huge. So like, and then they're like completely fail because underestimating some influential factors.
Yeah. Americans are interested in the bottom line. I think you've seen that in some of the questions today. What is your business plan? How will you scale, etc. Right? What's your subscription model? The mission and the value are critical, and they are the foundation for a good product. But American investors want to know, what is the future? What are the 5-year projections? And having really solid understandings on sort of the mathematics and the profitability questions is very important.
That's a great transition, because what I was like seeing is that we are gathering back the judges from the breakout session, and I guess that we have a winner. If there has not changed anything, so like I guess Johanna, who's like helping us with that on the back end, is discussing, or like, is she around? She already like back? Give me 1 second so I can check if everybody's back here. And then IHAM, so like IHAM is my stagehand here, and IHAM is like a wonderful coach from our team at the Startup Incubator Berlin. And what I did not have done yet is like also thank like our team at the Startup Incubator for like supporting us with that. So like, an IHAM is one of our startup coaches who take over, like, or was taking care of like bringing in the people on the right time, and like also like getting rid of it. Don't have that situation a lot. So would you like to bring of like all of the founders that were like taking part in the competition? And then I know the winner. And I guess everybody is back from the pit, from the breakout room. And for that, I would put everybody here, and I would ask to like, let's open this is how it actually looks. So like, this is now the blank space, or like the empty room. So come on in, everybody. And we have like one winning team, and I will announce these in a second. Oh, wait for it. I also have this wonderful prize here. And the like the supportive team, or like the team that will be supported to go to and take part in the STEP USA program, will be Grains. So for all the details, that's what we discuss afterwards. But I thank you so much for everybody like taking part in this competition. It's like great that we have like so many founders that we can like present here, and all the questions from the judges. Again, thank you, and again, like also Jan and Patricia for making this possible. So thanks to everybody for supporting this initiative. It's great that you all taking part of this, and there we have like so much great teams. And again, I need to wrap it up, because like I know that there were like some potential mentors from the US 7 network are also watching. So like, even though it was not decided on you for like going to the STEP USA program, there is still a potential that one of the mentors that are joining the US 7 program will reach out to you and get in touch with you regarding like some mentoring help and some introductions. And by the way, we were like doing this here now for almost 2 hours. We're like 32 degrees, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. So everybody is sweating. But we will now have a great summer evening in Berlin. And I thank you so much for all the judges and Sabine Baumann for staying around all the time and supporting this. So thanks a lot, and have a great day and a great evening in Berlin. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you all. Good luck all.
And thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
See you soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for water. Thank you.
Great. So like, and I'm so lucky that I do not have to take any decisions with that. So like, that's awesome. I always wanted to have like this.
Thank you for the organization, preparation, everything went smooth. It looks so cute. With this little
Yeah,
bear.
we can put your name on it as well. So but Matthias needs to do it. So like then you get like a